Check 1 2 1 2. Hey, what is going on, guys, gals, aliens, and DJ freaks? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Dano Crypto. Welcome to the second live stream of the day. I know I didn't say if I was going to be doing a second live stream, so you're probably getting a random notification on your phone, but hopefully you come in, you join us. We are going to be talking about a couple different things. You know, we updated our terminal. We got our terminal update from our AI terminal that we are getting our updates from, and also just, you know, going through all of the news and the clips and the media and all of the different narratives. We have countries coming to the table to make some deals, but we also still kind of have China on the fence. You know, we don't know exactly what's going to happen with that. You know, we have news that the Trump administration and Tom Bessett are pushing for a new Fed chair. They want to kick Jerome Powell out. So we're gonna get into that. We're gonna pick your brains about that and see when we think that might actually happen, and might possibly be next year or even this year. But we'll see what happens. We got XYO, the XYO Oracle. We've been talking about XYO for a long time. They just announced today that they are going to be having a second token in the ecosystem that is going to be operating on their new layer 1 blockchain. So this is going to be basically the gas token and other mechanisms for the layer 1 that they are going to be launching very, very soon. So this is really bullish news. And if you think about it, kind of like how, you know, Pulse Chain has the, you know, the incentive token, and then also like the PLSX token. Then you also have Pulse that actually is for the gas. So you kind of can think about it like that. Maybe a terrible example with with the controversy. We have some more interesting news and things coming out of this rug pull situation. We had CoffeeZilla interviewed the CEO of So we're gonna watch this. There's a little clip of it. We have. Let's see, what else do we have? We got some stuff to cover. Not too crazy, but we have Bitcoin basically rugging us. We had a nice little pump, but a double top here on Bitcoin where we hit this spot right here, then just kind of just right 86.4, had a nice little push, and then the exchanges be tripping, and they rugged us. Basically, we saw this coming down the pipe here. We drew this line through this this low right here, and then also right where we went into this price. So we drew it down, and we thought, okay, what they're gonna do at this point here, we saw this this support smack into this support, and through fake pumpage of liquidity, look how they put fake liquidity in there to make you think that it's going to continue to the upside. And so this is why you know, the thumbnail and the title is what it says, exchanges be tripping, because this is what the exchanges are doing this. The market makers are doing this. This isn't traders. This isn't us. Like, we want the price to pump. There's more bulls than bears. But you know what? The market makers are favoring liquidating those longs, because we showed you earlier on the live stream that there was a lot of longs that they wanted to liquidate as opposed to the shorts. So even though they had some pretty decent areas of shorts to get wrecked right up here, they stopped it. They stopped it right there, and the bull or the bears kind of gained control and really were like, no, we're gonna liquidate the bulls here. And that's kind of what happened, guys. So this is what happened over the span of time, because you can see at 11 o'clock, right around the time we were live streaming, we streamed for an hour, and you can see this play out exactly. I said, look, it's gonna smack right to there. They're gonna fake us out with fake liquidity, and there you go, man. They really smashing up the like button. There's 4 end. What is going on? What just happened? End. What is going on? What just happened? Rocked here. What is going on? What is this? What the heck is this? What is happening? What the heck is going on? Why am I dropping frames? Hello? What the crap is going on? Hold on. Am I back? Something happened. I don't know what happened, but I've just dropped a bunch of frames and my connection just went like completely south. But am I good now? I don't know. Am I good on your side? I might have just crashed for just a second, but I think I'm back. That was so weird. That was so weird. What happened? Huh. Let's see. You know. Okay, all right. It looks like I'm back. You can hear me, but can you see me? I'm gonna do something. I'm just gonna like lower the kilobyte. I'm gonna lower the bit rate of the video and just see if that helps a little bit. Okay, cool. All right, I'm good now. All right. Looks like it's good. Yeah, that was so weird. It completely dropped frames like to 0 and then it came back. All right. What I was saying was that we need to hit the like button. So pretty simple. We need to hit the like button. It's the only way we're going to get this stream out to the world. And we're just covering the levels. We wanted to come and stream to you guys, and you know, especially when Bitcoin's free falling, it's always good to come and talk to the people. And to answer your question, Kalichi, and how I even breached the account to begin with. And it can happen to anyone. It doesn't matter how good you think you are at trading. The moment that you are breaking your rules, you are breaking your strategy, and you are not fit for the day to trade, then you should not trade. You should not trade. You should step away from the computer. And being able to do that is separating you from a class of people and traders. You are then now separating yourself and putting yourself in a different group of a level of trader. You are actually leveling yourself up. Just because you're not taking a trade, like not taking a trade is just as smart and baller goat move than going into the market or trading. Especially when you know that your emotions are off. It doesn't seem right. Something, you know, you just might seem off. There's a lot of factors that can work against you when it comes to this trading game, and a lot of it is yourself. So what you have to do is kind of like before you even hit the charts, you can be like, okay, am I like equipped today to trade? Let me do an emotional check. Am I jumpy? Am I a little edgy? Am I a little extra? Maybe I'm just a little annoyed. Which was all the things of how I was feeling the other day. And just having that type of perception and realization about yourself can be the difference of your success in the trading game, but then also in crypto in general. But then you can take this principle and you can apply it to everything. So yeah, that was the reason why I ended up breaching the account, because I broke a few rules. Not just one, I broke a few rules. You know, I was very aggressive in taking profits and setting my stop losses in the breakout account for the evaluation. And then when it came to the actual account, I wasn't as aggressive and I let my emotions kind of completely take over. Get out. That's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. That's the only way you're going to survive. Because we know the exchanges be tripping. The exchanges are tripping. They're tripping. They're money hungry right now. Do you understand that the exchanges are our biggest problem? You thought the coins themselves were the problem? Guess who's buying the scam coins? The exchanges. Guess who's listing the rug pulls? Binance. Everyone's shining. Oh, give me the Binance listing. You know what? I don't want a Binance listing. I don't want my coin to get manipulated and ran into the freaking ground. No thanks. So this is the problem, actually. It's the exchanges. And I'll be the one to freaking yell that to the rooftop. I'll be like, hey, until you exchanges stop scamming people, what are you even here for? Are you just here to siphon money out of everyone? Because that's what you've been doing. Maybe there's a reason CZ went to jail. Maybe there's a reason that CZ had to pay $4 billion. Did you ever think about that? No, we're all like, oh, CZ, we're so proud of you. Thank you. Thank you for encouraging all the shit coins to be listed on your terrible offshore exchange. It's ridiculous. I don't even think I bet exchanges like OURBIT don't even do the scammiest crap like what Binance and all these other exchanges do. That's why I kind of like the small guys. I like the small exchanges. They probably do less of that than these giant exchanges, to be completely honest. Exchanges be tripping. They be tripping hard, and they're money hungry. They're money hungry. All right, so more so likely than us breaking into an uptrend right now, we're kind of on a downtrend. We're kind of following a downtrend here into some levels that could be respected for Bitcoin to bounce. We've had a few different bounce levels that we have been watching for the Coinbase chart. We have the Coinbase bounce level here at 78,000. That's where we just bounced pretty hard off of this Bart Simpson pattern that we charted live last week, where basically you can see here Wednesday last week, Bart Simpson wreck, and then they really like took us up to the upside and gave us that bounce, and this was a level that was respected. It was respected from previous, I think it was previous support that was around here. Yes, so it was around here is why I had that bounce zone, because we had a wick here. I was really watching that 77,000 area because that was like the one in question from this other wick. You can see here, it's pretty nasty. And then that got us back up into this range, which was that, choppy range, and then we got brought back into the range. We got traded back down into the range, bounced off the bounce level, and now it's like we're eyeing this this previous range again, this 81.8, 80,900. And John Foster Crypto, thanks for smashing the likes. Thank you so much. Giga Longbottom says, I'm money hungry too. Well, see, but the difference is like I feel like a lot of what our money hungry feelings come from is that we've been robbed. We've been robbed for the past 4 years. I mean, like you got to think like we've been siphoned for so long now that like all we're trying to do is just make our money back. Like we're just trying to make our money back at this point. And so what makes me frustrated about these exchanges is that they play off of that. And they know that the market sentiment and the emotions and and the traders right now in crypto is very up on the fence. And so I feel like the 100%, it's not like they have dummies running these offshore dealings and all the different stuff with the market makers and the leverage trading, the futures market, the USDT, all this stuff that they're doing. Like they have very, 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 very smart people running these algorithms and knowing the market psychology, knowing that there's traders that are watching these levels or they're seeing where they think that things are going to go. And they're really using that, I think, against us. And here's the deal. It's never going to stop until they actually get subpoenaed and they get papers sent to them and they're not allowed to do it like legit, or they'll just get shut down. Like we'll just be like, hey, you can't, like you're just going to get shut down. But here's the deal. That's not going to happen. It's probably not going to happen unless some massive auditing comes for Binance or comes for, Coinbase. But the way that it's looking, I don't think that's really going to happen. So what are they going to do? They're going to keep manipulating the price. They're going to keep manipulating through the futures market. They're going to keep doing it, just like they do in the stock market. It's never going to stop. So what do? We learn how to play the game. We're going to learn how to play the game. That's the only way that we're going to survive. You have to know that is always going to be a thing. It's never going to stop. I've come to that conclusion. It's never going to stop. There's always going to be someone on the other side trying to manipulate, and there's going to be bad actors. Wherever there's a way to siphon money out of something, there's going to be someone doing it. So we have to trade with that. That's all we got to do. We have to trade with that. Now, speaking of like the crazy manipulation with this OHM token, so this is a big lesson of how market cap in crypto is actually kind of fake. Market cap is like a it really all depends on the liquidity. The liquidity is key. If there's no liquidity in the actual token and inside the ecosystem, when someone sells, it dumps the thing 90%. It's just like how so Bitcoin doesn't dump like 20% in an hour when someone sells, because there's liquidity there. There's liquidity. And it's the same thing with some other tokens in crypto, with whether it be in the exchanges and the order books, that when a whale sells, like it'll affect the price. It will affect the price, but it's not going to dump it like 90%. So what happened here is a example of where there was no liquidity, and it was like fake aired liquidity. The $6 billion valuation was not true, and it's just. So what it leads me to go down now the rabbit hole is that now what tokens can we hold that have the highest liquidity? What are the tokens that actually do have liquidity, have a deflationary mechanism, have a limited supply, doesn't have crazy unlocks coming that they're going to dump on your head? Because this is the case with this particular token in April this month, which was probably right before the dump happened. They had token unlocks. Let's watch a little clip of this interview with CoffeeZilla.
Do or not? You see it as a mistake?
I mean, again, I don't.
Do you regret like pumping the price? I guess I haven't gotten that from you. I don't know if you do or not. You see it as a mistake?
I mean, again, I don't feel like I or the team pumped the price.
You did though. You sold OTC, then you re-injected it back in the chart, right? That's pumping the price.
I mean, I think we're gonna have to agree to disagree. But
wait. No. This is not a matter of agreeing to disagree. This is just a statement of definitions. Okay, pumping is when the price meaningfully appreciates, right?
Sure.
Usually, it involves somebody who's inside the token or wants the token to go up. They put in some amount of money to make the price go up. When you OTC dealing, you get some Tether or whatever you get, USDC, whatever. Yep. And then you say to your market maker, hey, I just want you to buy for the next whatever months.
Sure.
That is pumping the price. Yes or no?
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
I guess I would say
I don't want to force you into saying that, but
hold up. No. So let me just be clear. I would say that can have a positive impact on the price, or that would necessarily have a positive impact on the price. I wouldn't necessarily say that's going to pump the price. You can use bids to do a lot of different things. It can be to protect downside. It can also be to support to the upside. Fair?
Yeah, fair. But you're saying you didn't tell them to support at a certain level. So when you're saying like protect downside, you're saying you never said, hey, keep it at 6.
Discretionary. The markets go up and down. If you do it over a certain period of time, that can impact in both directions, right?
If you only buy up, it's going to impact in one direction.
Sure. But, this could also be about, hey, there's going to be unlocks or something like this, and we want to make sure that we're, supportive of that. People do this all the time where they raise
Is that why
capital
y'all did it? Because you knew there would be unlocks?
Well, I mean, we have future unlocks coming, right?
You were...
Here's a word of advice, guys. Don't invest in a project that has a bunch of unlocks. There you go. Easy. Don't invest in a freaking project that's going to have a bunch of unlocks where these a-holes are going to basically just dump on your head. And then you get stuck holding a bag where you bought a project that was fake liquidity pumped to 6 billion to make you think it was an RWA like savior and you know, like unicorn, diamond unicorn. And then you get jabronis like this that can't even handle like questions from CoffeeZilla. It's insane. This is why I really actually get more bullish on the meme coin narrative, because if the meme coin has all the tokens out in supply, you can't mint anymore. Ownership renounced. It's an open chart. It's every man for himself. That can't happen unless there's just massive vampire attacks on the token. But even then, if it's a strong community, it can still survive it because of the nature of how the tokenomics are. The meme coins, in essence, are less risky than these freaking VC angel-backed fake coins. This is actually Morad's whole thesis and premise, which I still, regardless if you guys are downing on Morad because of his list, the Morad list being down, 80% or however much whenever, I think he still might be onto something. And this is the golden egg, the golden goose right here. That we got to really, really do our due diligence, my friends, because you could get easily fooled to think that, this ohm or whatever it may be. We got to watch out. We got to protect ourselves. We have to protect ourselves. Well, just know that, hey, Sui and Ondo, cool, great projects. Are they going to sell when those unlocks come? We don't know. We have no idea. I don't know. We don't know. But they could. So still, it's at a point where these projects are going to have people selling because of unlocks. You just hope you bought before, but you just hope you sell before they do. You just hope you sell before they do. Right now, the best thing that you can do right now is look at what coins are pumping or holding up kind of strong as Bitcoin is going down. So as Bitcoin is trudging down to this point of control at 82.5, what's going on, Headband? Hi, how's where did you go? Puerto Rico? Where'd you go? You went somewhere. He's on an island in the sun. He'll be trading, having fun. All in Butthole coin. Well, actually, Butthole was actually doing really... Butthole was doing really good. Costa Rica. That's Costa Rico. Yeah, you're into Puerto Rico. Costa Rico. Costa Rico on Taco Tuesday. Yeah, let's look at Butthole, because Fartcoin has just been crushing it. So the next play could be Butthole. Yeah, but once this thing goes, this Butthole could rip a fart like you've never seen before. It got up to 120. Okay, so it got 129. I mean, yeah, you can't have a fart without the butt. So that's probably why this is a natural choice. After all, one cannot have a fart without a butthole. Initializing. Brace yourself for the winds of innovation, the winds of change. This is why no one can take us seriously in crypto, because all our coins are like, I mean, if you go down Dex Screener or go to Pump Fund, I mean, Pump Fund is the worst. I mean, is the worst. You go to Pump Fund, it's literally like that's just like there's just a bunch of teenagers in there. The liquidity's good though. Yeah, the liquidity, it's getting up there. Per what the market cap is. If the market cap's like 8 million and the liquidity is 1 million, that means like it can handle some sellage. It can handle a little bit of sellage. Let's see. If we go to Solana, what I like to do, I'll click on Solana and I just hit liquidity and just like what's going to pop up, what's got the highest liquidity. We've known for a while that PopCat has had pretty solid liquidity. PopCat was the first like meme coin, cat meme coin on Solana to really pop, pun intended. Another one that is another cat coin that has always had really decent liquidity was the Menenki. That was another one in the cat coin selection. And then in liquidity as well. And also I want to mention that the Fartcoin liquidity pool is set up on Orca. And then recently, we've actually had Orca been doing really, really well. Look how strong Orca is right now whilst Bitcoin is tanking. Okay? Like, and then other things that are holding up really strong. Look, Caspa's holding up strong. Look, Caspa on Bitcoin's dump right now is up 1%. Look, Algorand is holding up pretty strong. XYO, because of the announcement that we were just talking about with the XL1 token, which is the gas token for the layer 1. I mean, this thing's about to fly. I think if anything, like my most undervalued coin that I think is going to rip is going to be XYO. Because they're probably going to have a lot of different use cases. Having a layer 1 is going to help them, I think, in a lot of different ways. I think it can push a lot of narrative into their space for just the DPIN, the location-based data type blockchain stuff. It's going to be, I think it's going to be huge. I mean, you got to remember, we were just pumping pretty hard off just the announcement of that, and then some other partnerships that I think are coming down the pipe with Tesla. They've also been partnering up with a lot of weather apps, which kind of makes total sense if you think about it. Location-based data, geo-mining, that totally works with the weather narrative. So I'm glad that they're finally kind of getting on with that. But I think 8 cents is coming down the pipe. We're going to crush 4 cents again. It's just a great opportunity, I think, like for a very undervalued project that's actually building and doing some cool stuff. And it is American-based token. So along with like Algorand, XYO, you got your Chainlink and, things like that. Cardano, Litecoin. A lot of stuff is actually on a pretty massive discount. We're right back into our purple box ranges. We wanted to mark these ranges because these are the ranges where if we're back in here, accumulate. If we're back in here, accumulate. If we get back here in the other purple range, that's take profit zone. So same with Litecoin. We're kind of, we're back in this, accumulation zone. The zone where I think is a great profit taking area would be just, kind of back up into the, back above 130, 140. And then, Litecoin being back above 140, send the rest of these altcoins maybe in a decent direction. AVAX is on the radar for big banks, I think. I was seeing some headlines with AVAX getting some big banking support from JP Morgan, possibly kind of using, maybe using their ecosystem for some stuff. We know AVAX has been on the radar for the crypto gaming ecosystem with the off the grid, so been very bullish gaming. Solana's bullish gaming too. You got to remember, you know, one of the premier tokens that was really bullish in the crypto gaming bull run of 2021 and 2022 was Star Atlas. And have you guys been seeing the gameplay of the Star Atlas? It's pretty crazy. It's like looks really, really good. I mean, it looks really good. I mean, it looks like a lot of fun. I mean, you can like fly ships. Look at this. Look how good that is. I mean, that's pretty amazing. I mean, I think that looks better than Off the Grid. So they're brewing some stuff up. I think this could be one of the biggest games. Just have to see. Could be coming up to a. I've said this that I think the crypto gaming bull run is going to be a completely separate one of Bitcoin. It's going to be completely separate. It's going to be its own thing. Oh, I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you're doing good. I don't know what else to cover. Oh yeah, I had a bunch of videos that I wanted to play for you guys. Well, let's actually update you on the terminal. Let's update the terminal. So this is our terminal. Let's see, update. So I just say, this is my terminal. So I just say, update me, please. I say terminal, update. And we're gonna get a little terminal update here. This is my crypto alpha terminal. All right, Bitcoin. As of 9 o'clock, we got Bitcoin sitting at 84,000. So let's see if that's accurate of what the price is right now. 83.2. No, that's not accurate. So let's really make sure these prices are accurate. Prices are not accurate. Please adjust to exact time. Boom. All right. So the market snapshots looking like Bitcoin is looking pretty bearish in the past 24 hours, down 1.14%. We got ETH at 1,600, down 2%, looking bearish. Sol at 129, looking bullish. XRP at 212, looking fairly bullish. And then Doge looking a little bearish, down 2.5%. Let's see, with Bitcoin trading in a narrow range, like we were mentioning, between 83 and 85, analysts are suggesting that a sustained move above 85 could signal bullish breakout, targeting that 87 to 90,000, which is in between those prices, is the 200-day moving average. So conversely, a dip below that 83 may indicate a bearish trend, which is the potential support at 80K, which we have actually marked on the chart right here. So if we break through 83 and 82.4, which is the point of control, and we don't bounce, and we can't hold this level, we got a couple different levels that we might be going towards, which is this 80 and 81.8 support there. Okay, let's keep going. So then we have Ethereum. Ethereum is experiencing pretty bearish pressure with the price nearing support levels. Traders should monitor these indicators closely for a sign of potential reversal or continuation of the current trend. We need to approaching oversold territory with the RSI, MACD, bearish crossover. Solana is showing bullish trend with the price testing the resistance levels. Then XRP is exhibiting bullish momentum, approaching key resistance. Sustained move above 218 may indicate further gains. All right. And then we had a couple different... let's see. This was 6 hours ago. Okay, yeah. The SEC delays decisions to allow staking for ETH ETFs.
Today, an AWS outage halts withdrawals for some crypto exchanges overnight. The SEC delays its decision on whether ETH or ETFs should include staking. And Michael Sonnenschein of Securitize sits down with us to discuss today's acquisition of MG Stover's fund administration business. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Tanea McKeel. Crypto markets are mixed this morning, with Bitcoin trading just under 85,000
tokenization of securities on the blockchain. So if this would be very good for the issuance of capital in venture capital, democratize venture capital. If you're a small company, you're trying to raise $500,000, issue a token, has to be approved, and then put it on exchanges like WonderFi up in Canada, which is the largest exchange there that's approved by the Ontario Securities Commission and the OSC, and then Coinbase in the United States would be the largest in the US. And so they would become your liquidity for North America, and you could issue a token. Now, we need legislation for that, and we're a little ways away. I think we could have the Stablecoin Act in 90 days. I think the tokenization of securities, any security, any on the blockchain would be much better than the system we use now. That's going to take probably a couple of years. But this is the direction we need to go in. And providing these advanced products, financial services for all 10 sectors. Remember, financial services is one of the 11 sectors. And that's where crypto and blockchain technology should live because it services all the other sectors.
So yeah, that is going to be a big market, the stablecoin market, and also the tokenizations of these different types of securities. Maybe there is you are a small business or you're trying to raise some funds, but it's gonna be interesting because there's gonna be like, yeah. It's just we're gonna have to it's gonna take a couple years. And we're gonna have to see kind of how this all plays out. But what we're going through right now is basically a transition from all of these old systems going into these new tokenized systems. And so we just have to be in the right tokens, be in the right chains that are going to be used the most. It's kind of could be that simple. Is just be like, okay, what chains are really going to be issuing the most liquidity? And who is going to have the most throughput? Which chain is going to be used the most? And which ones are just going? Which ones are going to die out? And we just want to make sure that we're in the right place. And that's all really what investing is like, can we be on the right side of the liquidity? Can we be on the right side of liquidity in these movements?
Once. From just one prompt, AI can help
ads. But also, we've had the ETFs it's just been outflows.
Yes, surged last week as trade war concerns gripped the market. According to data from So Value, the 12 Bitcoin ETFs saw outflows of over $700 million, a more than 300% increase from the week before. BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust ETF, IBIT, accounted for almost half of all outflows alone, as investor sentiment took a hit from rising trade tensions driven by President Trump's tariff plans. Peter Chung is Director of Research at Presto Research. Peter, what's your view on the current economic climate and how that could impact on how investors should view crypto ETFs right now?
I think similar to what we are seeing in the traditional finance market, there is generally a risk-off trade happening in the crypto space as well. So that's translating into outflows out of all these crypto ETFs that you just mentioned. That's on the back of rising uncertainty on the economic outlook, on the back of tariff implementations by the Trump administration. So I think for the time being, unless we get some more clarity on how the growth outlook is going to look like in the midst of all these tariff negotiations, I think people will generally stay sidelined on investment in risk-on assets. That includes crypto ETFs as well.
Now, what do you make of the regulatory environment for crypto ETFs? And do you expect the approval of Ethereum ETFs and them to follow a similar trajectory to Bitcoin ETFs?
Actually, regulatory environment has not been any. I mean, it's been the best so far that we've seen in the last few years. The regulatory environment was actually quite restrictive under the previous administration.
That was when we were having the actual best price action, if you think about it. What's so mind-bending is that the whole time we had the grippiest type of administration that hated crypto. It was pumping, and we didn't even know what we had. And now that we're in the most pro crypto administration, we've seen the prices just be trash. So it's kind of it's mind-numbing people.
But the deregulating and then providing more regulatory clarity has been one of the Trump's campaign promise, and he's been delivering on that in the first few weeks he got into the office. So the regulatory environment has been quite good, and all the on the Ethereum ETF outlook, as you know, that was approved. I think it was May or June last year, and there has been some inflow, but not as much as Bitcoin ETF inflows. I think it's been registering somewhere around the $1 or $2 billion US.
He's making good points. It's kind of similar points that we've made around with the ETFs with ETH, is that, like, it's really kind of even just, we can see here just for since March 28th going down. You can see this is in the let's see, total only like 2.2 billion. You can see 571. Just nothing. Tony Trump says, first you got to dump, then you got to pump. Exactly. Exactly.
And the main reason for that is I think the traditional institutional investors has not been resonating too well with the investment thesis of Ethereum as opposed to Bitcoin. Bitcoin's investment thesis, which is digital gold, I think is something that's much easier for institutional investors to digest, whereas Ethereum's investment thesis is mainly centers around the idea of a world computer. But people don't quite, I think, unless you are somebody that coming with a lot of tech background, it's a concept that's a bit hard to resonate with traditional investors. So I think that's why the Ethereum ETF has not been seeing as much inflow as a Bitcoin ETF.
Now, given the current market volatility, is now the right time to be looking at more closely managed crypto ETFs?
I think it all depends on your risk appetite and your profile. So there has been some interesting actively managed crypto ETFs that's been launched over the last few months. One example is the BMAX, BMAX, launched by the Rex Financial, which invests in convertible bonds issued by the companies that adopted Bitcoin treasury operation, like a MicroStrategy, for instance. And so that type of instruments would give investors an access to convertible bond instruments, which are typically reserved for institutional investors, but now with packaged into an ETF, retail investors can invest in those instruments as well. And because it's a convertible bonds, you have benefit of having a downside protection with an upside potential exposed to linked to the Bitcoin underlying asset Bitcoin prices.
Now, spot Solana ETFs are expected to launch in the very near future, but in Canada. So how much of a blow is this to the US?
It's not a huge blow because application for Solana spot ETF is also under review at the moment. So I think at the latest they should be, the US SEC have to make a decision on whether to approve or not approve before, within the 240 days. And I think that's supposed to be before the end of this year. So, the US is not too far behind.
And that was Peter Chung from Presto Research. And that was your look at crypto.
Yeah, I like that breakdown. So kind of, what they're saying is that, look, the institutional investors, risk appetite right now is kind of still, it's not like they're not salivating, they're still waiting for, the negotiations to kind of, come to a head here, and we can kind of have a better outlook on like how we can plan, because that's kind of the topic of discussion is like, how are we going to actually, how are these businesses and how are these institutions going to plan for the next couple years if we don't know like how we're going to be issuing trade, or if there's going to be new tariff, woes, or if there's going to be a new, another Trump tweet that could send markets going in one direction or the next. So the institutional investors are kind of risk off right now, a little bit sideline. And also we have a lot of these like the Solana ETF is coming down the pipe. We've seen what has happened with Bitcoin and also the ETH ETF, really until the inflows actually start to come in, then we will start to see the price appreciation in some of these assets like Ethereum. And he made a good point about how the institutions don't necessarily understand Ethereum as well as they do Bitcoin. They understood it enough now from the signaling from Larry Fink and BlackRock and MicroStrategy, now Strategy with Michael Saylor, other companies and also countries like El Salvador. So that is giving the green light and in more of a confidence in Bitcoin. So this is why we have price appreciation. So the same thing I think will happen with Ethereum. It's just maybe the conversation needs to be more built around Ethereum being the world's computer application builder for whatever you would like. And so maybe in that conversation, then the flows will really start to come into ETH, and we can kind of be, bullish ETH going into the next couple of years. And hopefully those institutions really do, adopt it, knowing that it is the world's world's computer, like a world computer of of Ethereum virtual machine, where you can basically build any application that you'd like, and you have to pay $150 per transaction for gas fee. and you just have to deal with it. But hopefully we get our 10K ETH. I mean, God, we'd be happy with the 4K ETH, a 3K ETH at this point. So let's see what happens. But all right, guys, now that we bored you enough, we'll let you go. We just wanted to pop in and give you a little update. And we hope to see you guys soon. We'll see you tomorrow on our live stream. Make sure you tune in, and we'll be coming with you with some more in-depth news about the XYO Layer 1 and how it is going to power their new Layer 1 blockchain. We'll dive more into that. And we hope you have a good rest of your day and night. Peace out.